everyone, I'm back. Sorry, mommy duties. Mommy duty calls. Let's just call this the second part of our life. So we've gone through a number of other topics in the previous live chat. So we'll just continue with the next sections, and I'm sure a number of us will be asking, okay, for the vaginal birth, I didn't go through the process of vaginal birth. I think the reason why I chose to do that is because I think we're more or less there's more of a haze. There's more fear and uncertainty around cesarean section. So just to help with some of our moms, especially our first-time moms who are a bit anxious about it, I just wanted to go through it to allay our fear before we go on to recovery, which is where Eddie and Emiko comes in. Okay, so I'll just go through how it's done. Okay, so you've had, there's certain tests that they'll do before the surgery to make sure that mom is fit and okay. They will get they'll do what they call grouping and cross matching, get some blood on standby for mom in case there's any excessive bleeding, so that they can replace if necessary. Mom is taken to the operating room, the theater. The anesthetist, who is the guy who is in charge of monitoring your heart function, your lung function, and all that, and also helping you deal with pain. So what happens is that he's the one who gives the injection in the back, and he's the one who also assesses you, for fitness for having that injection as well. They ask moms to sort of hunch and hug a pillow. He cleans the area because it's supposed to be what we call a sterile procedure. That's no microorganisms allowed to go there. So cleans the area in the back where he's going to have the injection done. He marks off the position where he wants to go in. He gives you an injection around that area to numb the skin so that you don't feel the pain of the needle going in. And then he introduces the needle once he's sure that the area is numb, and he gives you the medication. Now there are two types of injection that can be given in the back. There's one called spinal and one called epidural. So usually spinal, they just give the injection and come out, and that lasts for a specific amount of time, about 4 hours. Whereas with the epidural, you can have that on for longer because there's a connection. Like, it can keep on giving you the drug intermittently, especially usually done when you think that the procedure would take longer than that amount of time. So there are a number of precautions, a number of things that he does, in order to make sure that the chances of complication are reduced. There are things like, if you notice, they will give you about a liter of fluid, because it can make you the medication can make you can reduce your blood pressure, and then you can faint and all that. So they give you that, which is called preloading. And then they also, when you lie down, the operating table is slightly tilted. They're just a number of little things that they do, to prevent any complications and all that. So once he's done, you lie down, he puts on he's already put on, he's monitoring your blood pressure, he's monitoring your pulse, he's looking at your heart rate and all that. So you have all those his monitors, those things that make those beep sounds in the theater. So those are the monitors, And then when he's fine, when he's good, he gives the obstetrician the go ahead, to start the procedure. And then so they make you lie down comfortably. They usually prefer to screen you from what's going on because some of us don't like blood, right? so they screen you from what's going on. You can hear, you can see people moving around in the room and all that. You can gist, you can listen to music, but you just try as much as possible, just to shield you from what's going on the other side. So they clean up your skin and all that. There are different incisions. When I say incision, there are different cuts that can be made. Now, there's something they call a finestyle, which is like a bikini cut. So what that means is that if you're wearing a bikini, a swimsuit, it's not going to show. So it's a horizontal line across. But sometimes if it's an emergency, they may have to make a vertical cut on your womb, because they need to get the baby out like pronto, and all that. It's not, it used to be also an old technique. That's how all cesarean sections were done before, but it's only reserved for emergencies now. And the good thing also about this, because it is done in the part of your womb that it has more, let me call it like fibrous tissue, as opposed to the main body of the womb, which has more muscle. So that means that healing also is better. The chances of your womb, what they call rupturing, if you went into contractions in your next delivery, are also low. So they make that cut. They make the cut through your skin. They push your those organs that they don't need to be messing with aside. Go in, get to the level of your womb, make the cut into your womb, widen up a little bit, and then deliver the baby, bring the baby out. So once they bring the baby out, obviously the placenta and the cord comes after. So they clamp the cord and they cut that. So at this point now, I'm just going to jump in. As long as your baby is fine, it's not like it was an emergency cesarean section. Sorry for my scatteredness. There are two types of cesarean section. It could be planned or unplanned. So, and in medical terms, we have that being an elective and emergency. Elective is a planned one. Planned one because the doctor already knows that this cesarean section has to happen during the time when you're doing antenatal. And everything is in place for it. They will not let you get past 37 weeks because they don't want you to start contracting and for labor to start. So, but an emergency cesarean section can happen when a mom, for some reason, they might find out, for those reasons that are, I stated earlier in the previous charts, that could just come up. Maybe your baby is struggling in the womb, or something, or the labor is not going on the way it should go. It's taking longer than it should, or for whatever emergency that's going to prevent that baby from being delivered vaginally, so an emergency cesarean section occurs. What was I saying? Okay, so provided the baby is still, hi Limanita, thanks for joining us. We're talking about cesarean sections today. Please, if you have any questions, please type them down. I was just going through the process of how cesarean sections go. So the baby comes out, provided your baby is fine and everything. Where I was going to jump in was that a lot of people feel that because they're having a cesarean section, they can't do skin to skin with baby. That's not true. So when your baby is born, your baby can actually, once they, they can actually bring your baby to your chest area, because your baby is not to your chest area, right? You can still do skin to skin right after the baby comes out. You can still breastfeed. There are situations where people even, like, there's this video I saw online where they expressed milk for the baby, you know, the colostrum is going to be so tiny, you know, but they got that tiny amount of milk, colostrum to give the baby, you know. And this lady had a cesarean section, you know, because the baby couldn't be put to breast immediately, you know, obviously. So skin to skin is still possible with cesarean section. Daddy can even do skin to skin. And why skin to skin is very good, it helps to calm the baby, helps to release those feel good hormones that, help with breast milk descent. It helps to regulate the baby's body temperature, because your womb, baby was inside your body and your womb, and everything was very nice and cozy. But the first few months of life, babies can't really control their temperature. If it's too cold, they can get cold and all that. Skin to skin is really good. It fosters bonding as well, you know, and it helps with breastfeeding if you choose to breastfeed. Okay, so baby is taken out, you know, so the doctor inspects everywhere, make sure, as in the womb, they didn't damage anything, and they start closing up. So they close up the womb first, and then they close the skin, and then they apply what we would call a dressing to cover the wound. The skin is usually, depending on how the circumstances of the surgery, usually they sew up with what they call a suture, which is, think of it like the thread that they used to close up, that will dissolve with time. But sometimes they can use one that doesn't dissolve. It's just based on their assessment, and the one that doesn't dissolve obviously will have to come out later, you know. So they clean up the area, you know, and then they put the dressing on. Sometimes, depending on the circumstances, they may put what is called a drain. A drain is just a pipe, a simple pipe that is still connecting the inside of your body to the outside, because they want any excess fluid that may accumulate within the area around your womb or oozing from your womb to come out on its own without collecting somewhere, you know. So they may put a drain in, and that drain usually comes out within 3 days, between 72 hours after your surgery. Yeah, and okay, usually, because obviously you're not going to be able to pee on the operating table, they've already put in what they call a catheter, which is a pipe that goes into the pipe that brings urine out of your body from your bladder, and they use that to monitor how much urine you're making. And the reason why they do that is because they want to make sure that your kidneys are functioning well, you know, during the procedure. And it also helps them monitor for damage, damage, because your urine should be like yellowish and clear. But obviously, if it's tinged with blood, then you know that, you know, you may have gone into the bladder by mistake or something. So, you know, that's the catheter. So they give you, you will not need to take any other extra pain relief because of the injection at the back. But the anesthetist might then, sometimes they just make mom sleep so that she can just rest. But this is not sleeping that requires, this is not like a general anesthesia. So, you know, they take you back to the ward where they monitor you. Everybody, they monitor your urine output, they monitor your breathing and all that, and they give you pain relief to cover when that numbness that came because of the injection that they put in your back wears off. So, yeah, depending on your provider, depending on hospital policy. In Nigeria, there are hospitals that keep moms for about 4 days. In the UK, they can keep mom for up to 2 days for cesarean, and for vaginal delivery within 24 hours you'll be discharged. So it just depends on policy. You know, the normal things go on in the ward. One thing I know that is a cause of angst for moms is pain relief. Is also things like, because you've had surgery, they might not let you have something to eat right in the beginning, right away, because they want to be sure that your bowels are moving. And how do they know that your bowels are moving? You have to pass gas, you have to fart. And then usually that is encouraged when you move around early. It's also important to move around early because especially if for a mom who's on the big side, the chances of forming clots after a cesarean section are also very high. That's a clot that can form in your leg and then go to your heart or your lungs and then cause problems, life-threatening problems, and you're at risk because of the hormones that are going around in your body as pregnant, if you're also a bit on the heavy side as well, and also because after the surgery you're going to be staying in one place for a long time. So some hospitals offer mothers what they call compression stockings. So these are like socks that help to improve the blood flow, and then they go right up the way to your thigh. But in places where that can happen, they usually encourage moms to sit up as soon as they feel comfortable to do that, and that's what they call early ambulation. That's walking around early. Obviously if you're in pain you can't do that, but that's why the pain relief has to be on point. So if a doctor, hi Kemi Dele, so if they ask you not to eat immediately after, it's not because they're trying to be wicked, it's because it's for your own safety. It's for your own safety that they ask you to do that. So usually on the second day they open up the wound, they open up the dressing and then take a look at your wound, the wound, and then they expose it to air. Center where I worked, what they do is just take a look at the wound and then just do one wipe with spirits and then expose it to the air. So a wound that's doing well is a wound where the two edges where the cut was made are, they're like that and not separating anywhere. There's no oozing from the wound, there is no pain. Sometimes moms can also feel numbness around that area because in the process of making those cuts, they might also have nicked some of the nerves there. That's normal. After a while, when I had my surgery, it can take up to like 8 months or something for you to get back feeling around that area. It's nothing to worry about. Going back to a wound that's doing well is a wound that is not painful, a wound that is not red or swollen, a wound that the two edges are together, a wound that doesn't have anything oozing out of it. You're not having any fever, especially a fever that is as higher up to and above 30 degrees centigrade. As a mom, you'd obviously have bought a thermometer for your baby, so you can also use it for yourself. Yeah, okay, so just not to scare you, but just so that you know, every surgery is a risk. Every surgery has a risk, but when we weigh the benefits of having a cesarean section for a mom who has to have it against the risk, which is the risk of death, which is the risk of losing her baby, which is the risk of maybe her womb rupturing and all that, the benefits of having a cesarean section will outweigh the risk. So, but in the process of doing the surgery, there can be damage to the organs that surround the womb, such as the bladder, such as maybe if there are any loops of bowel, but those, especially in very careful hands, are very rare. If found, can be tackled quickly. Then the things with the pain relief, that the injection I was given at the back, some people can react to it. You can have a bit of, some people have what they call the spinal headache. You usually have the headache after it wears off. And there are things like, they say, okay, take a bit of caffeine, or they use a particular size of needle, when they are doing it. Or then blood accumulation or infection, but these are rare, and then also, as one mom also rightly let us know, sometimes people react to anesthesia by shaking uncontrollably, shivering. They haven't really found the cause of it, but there are medications that the anesthetists can give you right away, to quell this. shaking. Some people feel that it's because of the way your blood vessels have changed. Your body now feels that the temperature has dropped and is now trying to make you warm again. So it's nothing to worry about. So cesarean sections, it's probably the preparation for the cesarean section that takes a long time. 30 minutes, 45 minutes max, depending on if the mom has had the cesarean section before. You're out of there, as opposed to going into labor for like 12 hours and nobody knows when the baby is coming out. So there's actually there's more control with the cesarean section. Okay, so I was going to talk about someone asked on the blog, on one of the Instagram accounts, whether it was okay to use a waist trainer after cesarean section, because moms tend to be very worried about their tummies getting big after getting big and staying big after they've had their babies and all that. And the point is that, first of all, we have to be patient. You just went through what you just went through. Carrying the baby for 9 months and then giving birth is a big deal. There are a lot of things that will happen to your body that are out of your control. If you are not exercising before delivery, if you're not like someone who was very athletic and all that during pregnancy and before delivery, you're not going to like snap back like that to your former size. So we have to be patient. There are times when you retain water and all that, but as long as you are eating what you need to eat, what you should eat, healthy and all that, with time, let's say about like 8 months, it usually even takes a year for you to even start getting back to your former self, and all that. So we need to be very patient. But ordinarily, there are things called abdominal binders. I'm not going to talk about waist trainers. Abdominal binders, they are medical grade abdominal binders. Like, these are even used after abdominal surgeries, right? So ordinarily, traditionally, we use a wrapper. We use a wrapper when a mom gives birth. We use a wrapper to help the womb shrink. The womb will shrink with the hormone that goes around your body, helping with breastfeeding, which is called oxytocin. It will shrink on its own, but you can also facilitate that process, help that process by this abdominal binding, and that's one of the items we have. Some people worry about using it after cesarean section because they feel, oh, I have a wound under there and it's going to affect the healing. But no, because the weight, the pressure of these binders is evenly spread. They actually even help with stabilizing. There's some people that after they have their baby, their hip joints become unstable because during vaginal delivery, because sometimes your joints have to separate a little bit to accommodate the baby going down. So what these binders do is that they support your tummy and they support your back, and then they also help to spread an even pressure around your trunk area. So that can also help with pain control for moms who've had cesarean sections. And what we usually have is the brand we use is called Dale. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Where is this? I'm going to flip this. Okay, so this is our abdominal binder. This is what we have from Dale Medical. Okay. No. Sorry. Let me do this. Alright, so that's what we have from Dale Medical. And so it comes in a box. They've changed their packaging. It used to be blue, sky blue. It's now white. So this is a medical grade abdominal binder, and it comes with a band. And now if you remember, I mentioned that sometimes a drain could be put in. So this is the band, and this band is supposed to hold the drain down. So it comes in different sizes. It has an instructional manual on how to use it. You can put it on yourself. The nurse can also help you put it on. So how it's used is it's usually put in the lower abdomen, if you see in this picture, and it's wrapped around so it doesn't bunch up. It can be worn under clothes and all that, and it provides abdominal support. So there's no need to be worried. It's safe, and it doesn't interfere with the healing of your wound. So someone can put it for you. If someone putting it on for you, you're lying down, obviously. Maybe like the first time I had to use it, the nurse helped me, and then also you can do it yourself. So obviously you're standing erect, and then you want to put it at that level so it stretches around. And then, okay, this is only for if a drain is being put in, so you can just make a tiny hole in it, and then the drain pipe passes through there. But obviously this should be done by your care provider, and it's easy to wash. This one is spanking brand new. That's the Dale abdominal binder. Now the good thing about it is that it's breathable, so it's not like it can, it doesn't obstruct your breathing. And all that. So this is Dale abdominal binder, and I'm just going to show you. This is mine. I've had this since 2017. It comes in different sizes, but the most, it's quite versatile in terms of the size range. So that's it. That's mine. Obviously you can see that it's not as white as it used to be, but this has served me, and I'm going to use it for my next baby. I'm going to use it for my next baby. Yeah, so that's it. And if you look at it, it has this it looks as if it follows the curve of your body somehow. I don't know. Anyway, so that's the abdominal binder. That's it right there. This is the part that should go in the middle of your back, and this is mine, and it's still alive and well. Okay, so that's the abdominal binder. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly talk about breastfeeding as well. Breastfeeding for Caesarian section moms. There are positions that help. There are things that can help with breastfeeding. I'm going to demonstrate what positions are best for breastfeeding, so that there's no pressure on your womb, not on your womb, on your cord. So what we have nursing pillows. Nursing pillows are indispensable. There's someone that said once, I can't remember what Instagram account I was looking at, and he said that pillows were a scam. Breastfeeding pillows were a scam. Well, that's their own opinion. They have been indispensable for me from when I was pregnant till when I even after I had my baby, I started breastfeeding. So what we do, we don't have the regular pillows that are already filled with filling, stuffing and all that. What we do is we do this rigid travel breastfeeding pillow, so which comes flat. It comes with a cover. So what it does is that you inflate it. You can use it to travel. You can move around with it. You inflate it, and then you can use it as a you can use it to nurse your baby. So this is the cover, and it's pretty easy to inflate. that's where the valve is. So you blow in, you close it up, and you zip up. If you're breastfeeding your baby and you've had the cesarean section, using a pillow is going to at least take that pressure off your womb. So that's the deal. That's the Ouija travel pillow. Look at it. It's just flat. You know, you can, when you're done, you can deflate it. You can, if you need to move around with it, you're going to visit your parents and things like that, you don't have to carry that bulky thing around. The reason why nursing pillows make more sense than using regular pillows is because it's fit for purpose. You know, it's exactly what you need for what you want to do, which is bring your baby up to your breast level to breastfeed your baby. Sometimes with pillows, they might not be firm enough. They might not be, you might need several, you know, to put your baby in the right position and all that. And then nursing pillows also support your back while giving you that lift as well, you know, because it's very important for you to be able to breastfeed for a long time, that you're comfortable. You know, you have support at your back, you're lifting, your baby is being raised to your breast level, not you hunching to feed your baby. If you can see this picture, like, so for moms who've had cesarean sections, there's what they call when they see the football, they're actually talking about American football or the rugby hold. So you want your baby to be almost like under your armpit, feeding from each breast. So if you're feeding from this breast, which is her left breast, the baby will be lying across like this. You can even, you know, sort of adjust the pillow like that way, lying across. So your cesarean section cut is in front here, is this way, and then your baby is not directly on top of your wound. So your baby is like that way. If you're feeding from the other breast, you push the pillow the other side, and baby is that way. The other hold that is good, the other form of breastfeeding position that's good if you've had a cesarean section is lying on your side. So mom is lying on her side and baby is lying on the side, tummy to tummy, and mom is breastfeeding baby in that way. There's also the one where the mom is lying down as well, lying down on her back. This time I'm not lying on her side, and baby is also on top of mommy and breastfeeding. That way there's no pressure on this area where the cesarean section cut was made. So this is a Ouija travel feeding pillow. It's inflatable, as I said earlier. You know, it has a washable cover which you can take off, wash, which you can take off and then wash. I've had my pillow for, like I said, 2 years as well. I didn't bring that here. So I hope I'm going to still put up in my stories those breastfeeding positions for cesarean section and just a few notes from this discussion. So what else do we want to talk about quickly? I'm back. What else do we want to talk about quickly? Yes, things I've talked about nursing, things that we want to avoid when a mom has had a cesarean section. We don't want you to be constipated. We don't want you to have a cough that is uncontrolled. Why? Because each time you strain to go to the toilet, you are putting pressure on the wound, and that can make the wound separate as well. We don't want cough as well, because that is also going to put pressure on your womb because you're increasing the pressure in your tummy, and that's putting some strain on the wound as well. So you don't want constipation. We don't want cough. How do you prevent constipation? By taking lots of fluids. By also we should be offered Ducolax, or those are what they call laxatives, that ones that are over the counter. We have Ducolax, we have lactulose, and we have Senna, which is more natural. What else? But it's mainly high body. It's mainly a fluid thing, it's mainly a fiber thing, and is expected after delivery because the hormones make the hormones affect the way your bowels move. Yeah, okay, some other tips. When you want to cough, or when you need to cough, if you can't control the cough, it's very, very important that you can get a pillow. Yeah, get a pillow, regular pillow, and then you want to cough, you just press the pillow against your tummy to splint, and then you cough. You know, it's the same thing that a binder would do. So that splinting is just trying to control the pressure that is coming from your tummy that could stretch on the wound. Another thing is, you're not supposed to carry anything that's heavier than your baby. Yeah, so this is not the time for you to be arranging the house after a cesarean section. Please allow the house to be scattered, or allow people to take care of the house for you. When you want to get out of bed, you don't jump out of bed as if nothing has happened. Something has happened. So you want to roll to your side. Yeah, you roll to your side first of all. You swing your legs off the bed, and then use your hand to push yourself up. Yeah, so you're lying down like this. Let's say you're lying down like this, you don't get up like this. You don't do that. You're putting pressure on your womb. So what you want to do, you want to roll to your side and then push yourself up so that you can get out of bed. So you roll to your side to the edge of the bed, push yourself up. These are the things that will prevent any strain. Exercising, people are worried still about weight loss, about getting your tummies back, blah blah blah. You have to wait for at least 6 weeks before you start doing light exercises for cesarean section, because you don't want anything that will put strain on the wound still. So in the meantime, you can use your abdominal binder, you can walk while you're eating, and then after that, you gradually walk your way into exercises. You can walk around for like 30 minutes every day. It's very good. Promote the blood supply around the wound area. It also helps your bowels move, and then it keeps you in good spirits. Another thing, please try and pee before you breastfeed. I'll also go a long way for helping with pain control. Take the meds that you given in the hospital for pain. If you're still feeling pain, you can still speak to your doctor. They can adjust the dose or change the medication for you. Getting pregnant, again, that's another issue. They say if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. So we want to be careful, because your body needs, your womb needs about 2 years to heal. So we're not saying that you should be having the next baby, you should be delivering the next baby in the 2nd year. We're saying you wait at least 2 years before you have before you get pregnant again. Yeah, 1 to 2 years before you get pregnant again. So when I say plan, I mean taking measures to prevent yourself from getting pregnant. Yeah, it's very important that you have a serious discussion about that. You are intentional about that. The reason why is because you want your womb to heal. If you're going to, for example, try vaginal birth after a cesarean section, you want the womb to have been fully healed before you let that womb contract. Because what has happened is that you've made a cut in your womb. That means that the muscle, the integrity of your womb is not what it used to be before it was cut. You don't want a situation whereby your womb, which is big muscle, is contracting, and because of all that pulling, you have it opening up. So there's actually a reason. It's not because they want to ruin your career. Yeah, okay, so so I think in the course of our discussion we've answered the last question, which one of our followers had, which was about complications of epidurals, complications of anesthesia for cesarean section. So we do have some very good anesthetists in Nigeria, and some very skilled anesthetists who will take as much precaution as need be. Complications can happen, but they are usually rare. Yeah, so you want to be sure that you're in a good center. Section done. Yeah, I think we've covered all the topics I wanted to cover. So if you have any questions, please type them up here, or you can send us a direct message on Instagram and answer that. This live will be put up, will be available for the next 24 hours on our stories, and we will also have it on our YouTube channel over the weekend by the time this one expires. Thank you so much for joining in, everyone who joined in. I hope I was able to answer your questions. One more thing, a lot of times we plan for stuff, we have a dream for how our delivery will be, how our pregnancy will be, how soon we get pregnant, what the delivery will be like, and sometimes things don't go into plan. I just want to encourage mothers who, for example, wanted to have a vaginal birth and are now having to be told that they have to have a cesarean section, not to lose hope, not to be disheartened. The most important thing is that you are alive and fine, and your baby is alive and fine. It's very disappointing. It's important that you talk about it, the fact that you're disappointed, both with your partner or people that you trust, and also with your care provider if you feel comfortable enough to talk about it. Your feelings are valid. The fact that you're disappointed is a valid feeling, you know, but we are big girls and we need to do what we need to do. Yeah. You're stronger than you know. So if you need any advice on recovery from cesarean section, you know, hit us up. We have stuff that can help make the process a little bit more comfortable for moms. Thank you so much for joining, and we hope you found this helpful. Bye bye.